Parents grapple with the complexities of modern life, they find themselves confronted with a paradox. The very lessons they once imparted to their children now seem obsolete in the face of rapidly changing social norms. In the age of ride-sharing apps and remote work, the lines between stranger and friend, safety and risk, blur with disconcerting ease. Father and mother are no longer confined to rigid definitions. As the concept of family evolves, so too must our understanding of what it means to be a parent, a partner, and a provider. Perhaps one defined not by titles or roles, but by love, understanding, and mutual respect.
Hi, I'm Emma. I haven't been here in a while, but I'm here now. I've been just a little busy with school and just everything else, just life stuff, and trying to get my car together and get my license and just everything to becoming a young adult. Um, Hopefully my grandpa's coming on in a second. I hope. Yeah.
Oh, you chicken. Oh man. You gave me about 30 seconds there.
I
How
told
are
you
you,
I
my dear?
couldn't do 5 minutes.
I was hoping to get 5 minutes out of you. We'll make it up on the other side here. How do you think about that?
Okay.
So we've got somebody on already. That's kind of cool. Appreciate. Hey, by the way, Emma and I were just talking in the green room, and if you would please subscribe and like the show. I actually had somebody. By the way, sometimes I drive here, sometimes I walk here because it's a short distance from my house to the library. You know that.
Yeah.
And I was walking down, and two different people stopped me to get the name of today's show because they wanted to watch it. You are becoming quite a little heroine here in the beautiful city of Mangum, Oklahoma. You have a little fan club floating around out here somewhere. Um,
That's
we
nice.
you were asking about Simon. He's with his mom visiting his parents up in up near his area, and we really wanted to get into. Oh wow, okay, we have 26 people on now. Um, Grab your cup of coffee or your cup of tea and sit back. Emma just gave a beautiful, wonderful, exotic intro for me to jump in, and so we got that. We're both doing hoodies. She's got the black one. I like that hoodie. I got a gray one, and my red shorts because it's red down here further down. So I have color match. 56 people on. Please, everybody, subscribe to the show. Hit subscribe. Like the episodes you like, of course. Hopefully you like this one. You agree with that, Emma? You on board
Yes.
with that?
Yes.
Pumping it out. So tell me a little bit about what we went through some of the subjects we're going to go through.
Mm-hmm.
You're part of what you deal with is school, obviously, the pressures of being a teenager and having to look perfect for social media, all of those things. What do you want to kind of 108 people? Please subscribe. Oh, by the way, I got to give the shout out to the Mangum City Library here. They sponsor us because of Emma and Voices at the Table, the Rejuvenation School Project. And I had a couple meetings with a potential sponsor. We've gone through a couple of different iterations, and we've got a meeting set up for Tuesday to hopefully kind of dial in and work on that collaboration. He's actually the original founder of Leaf Labs and eLeaf. Some of the different offsprings of that. It's been around for about 6 years. And guess what? I just found out from our meeting yesterday. Check this out. They have a pilot program within the school system in Naperville, Illinois, which is where I moved from, and I didn't even realize it. Big, beautiful area there. I lived there in Naperville for quite a while, and so this movement's really spreading and really moving around. What's let's just start off. What's some of the 167 um, people on? Tell your fans what you've been doing over the last couple of weeks, just in
What
general.
I've been doing?
Yeah, yeah.
Been going to school, been starting sports. I
Oh,
was supposed to get
oh,
my
that's
license.
new. Are you
That
doing
is
volleyball?
fun.
Which one are you doing? What sport?
Boxing.
Are you kidding?
No,
Wow.
yeah,
That's not in school. That's probably a gym kind of
yeah,
thing.
yeah. It's outside of school.
Okay, so let's stay with boxing for a minute. How many times have you 222 people on? Why don't you tell them what that's like? I did that for a little bit.
Yeah, you did wrestling too, huh? Or
I did wrestling all the way through college and
yeah.
in the Olympic trials. Yeah, I wrestled quite a bit.
It's nice. It's fun. I want to do it more. I want to. You can hear my dogs.
That's all
Um,
right. I got dogs running around here.
um, I started recently, but I want to start doing the tournaments. So I need to kind of just show them that I can do it for like a month straight, and then they'll put me into the tournaments, and I'll be doing it like basically every day except for Friday and Sunday. But I just do it like 3 times a week.
Is that I was going to ask? Is that the schedule 3 times a week?
Hmm.
So are
Yeah.
you going to do Saturdays then? In other words, you can't do Friday and Sunday. It sounds like those are
Yeah,
off
but
days or something.
I don't think it's gonna be at like 9 or 12 in the morning. My practices are really late.
Well, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Get you all worked up and worked out, and then ready for bed, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Or or Saturday night or Friday night or whatever.
Yeah, it's fun. I do like it.
How many sessions have you done? So what is this? What does it look like? What is that? What is that picture?
What do you mean? Like how do we do things?
Yeah, how do you do things? What does a
Um,
practice look like? So you go in there, you're all set up. Do you have your own gear, or you get the gear from the gym, whatever it is, and
I
then
mean
what
they give
happens?
you gear, so I've been lagging on getting my own. I need
Sure.
boxing gloves and a jump rope, but get in, somebody wraps you, and then you get a jump rope and you
No
go
kid. Wait,
outside.
wait. You actually go to the point where you wrap your fingers, your hand,
What?
like boxers do. You actually wrap your hands. They wrap
Yeah,
your
you
hands.
have to.
I've never done that. Wow. Okay, that's awesome. Then you get your jump rope. Go ahead.
Yeah, we get the jump rope. We do like 3 rounds of that of doing jump ropes, and then we do like kind of drills in a way. We shuffle to the left, and then we shuffle to the middle. We do some combos, and then go back, and it's like left right. We continue to do that for 3 more, and then we go on the boxing. We get our boxing gloves. We go
Okay.
on the boxing bags, and they just kind of tell us like, oh, like 1, 2, 3, or whatever combo they want us to do, and
Gotcha.
then we go into the ring, and they'll like basically be our boxing gloves, like they'll have the mats and all that, and then we'll after that we'll go run outside, and then we're done.
So you go for what, an hour?
Yeah,
Each session is like or each what would you call it? Practice is an hour.
yeah.
Sorry, I'm trying to pull up the schedule for today here. I'm not leaving a very attractive picture here. Yeah, so you work out for an hour, and then you, I assume there's some sort of a warm down in that along the way, and then you head on home or go to the showers there or whatever.
Yeah, like it depends. Sometimes they'll make us do push-ups and sit-ups, or they'll make us run. They've been making us run recently, and
Wow.
yesterday we went like up and down stairs, and then we did 2 laps, and then we were done.
How many people are in a class? By the way, there's 320 people on right now. Subscribe, hit like, please. Go ahead.
um, it depends. Like the other day, there was like a lot of people. There was like almost 20, so it was like really hard for them
Wow.
to like see what to do. But yesterday there was like 9 people there. It kind of just
That's
depends.
Yeah, who shows up, who doesn't,
Yeah.
right? Whatever they got going on in their day.
Mhm. Yeah.
Very cool. How many have you done now?
I've been doing this for a week, I think. I think it's been a week.
You're going to be a little Miss Buff, aren't you?
Mm.
You
I
digging it
hope
so far?
not. Yeah, I don't want to be buff. I hope I'm not buff.
Well, you know what I mean. I mean, you're a very beautiful young lady, and you're adding strength to that, right? A physical strength to that. So it's I mean, it's not like you're going to become. I assume you wouldn't want to become a woman bodybuilder then. So
No.
definitely not that far, but
Yeah.
definitely getting some workout in. There's a few things that some people have been asking us to talk about,
Mm-hmm.
and I have a feeling we're going to get some questions on them today. What you and I were talking about those things. What do you want to start kind of chit chatting about while people are getting ready and coming in? Why don't actually, first of all, um, don't really need to get in too much of your history because I think everybody pretty much knows. Um, why don't we do this? What are your favorite things to do as a kid? I mean, the working out, we got that. We're working on that right now. But what are some of the favorite things that you like to do besides school, besides working out, besides being with your guy, which we'll get into after a bit? What do you like doing? Let's get the people to
Um,
know you a bit more.
I don't know. I don't do that much. I don't really go and do that much. I go to school and excuse me, I hang out with friends and I go to the gym sometimes. I haven't been really going to the gym anymore, but um yeah, my life's kind of boring. I just hang out.
Okay,
I
so
literally just hang out or I like watch movies. I've been watching
oh,
Vampire Diaries.
oh, you like Vampire Diaries?
Yeah, my mom has been
Oh
getting
my!
like crazy on it.
It, how far along are you? That's an older series, right?
Yeah,
Isn't it?
yeah.
Okay, I know the series you're talking about. Barbie was like insane on it, and so I watched, God, probably a couple hundred shows. That how far, are you in the first season? Where are you
I'm
at?
in the second season.
Okay, yeah, it's going to get a lot crazier. That show is wild. I mean, just the title alone. Hey,
Yeah,
hold on, hold on. What? Okay, you remember Ronaldo is a friend of this show. You've
yeah,
heard me mention her name before, haven't you, on here? Or
yeah.
have I? Okay.
No, yeah, I remember.
Okay, she's a digital creator and very talented. But we've got like 3 or 4 questions already. That kind of came in really quick, actually. What kind of diet would I haven't read this, so I don't know if this recommend to Emma for sports training to get ready for competition? Oh, you're going to put that on me. That's not fair. What kind of diet are you working on a diet? I know your dad is a freaking awesome cook. I'm not saying that your mom isn't, but your dad is. So have you guys worked together on any kind of like a now I mean, you got the routine started. Is it too early yet to really get into your diet and
I
high
mean,
proteins, this and that?
I kind of do eat high proteins. Like my dad doesn't really cook anymore because my mom has these meals that she makes,
Because
and like she has these like
oh,
diet meals, and they're like protein meals. So like every time I'm hungry, she's like, "Oh, just eat one of my meals." So like I'm constantly just eating those.
no kidding. So mom is making diet meals and like packaging them, and then you guys take them out and eat them as you have.
She
Is
doesn't
that what
make
you're
them.
talking
She
about?
buys them. She buys them and then like she takes them
Okay.
on. Yeah.
So if I was going to recommend, you said earlier I wrestled and
Mhm.
I was an athlete growing up. Things have changed so much, but let's see, at 16, I was So I was probably about 100. I wrestled about 177 pounds there, and for workouts, we most of it was losing weight because I went from football where I bulked up. I'd get up to 190 pounds ish, and then I'd have to lose 20 pounds to get back down to the wrestling weight because you go from football to wrestling, and during wrestling is Thanksgiving and Christmas, so it always sucked because I was always having to cut weight. But basically, you're I don't know. Do you eat peanut butter? Do you eat because peanut butter is very good. It's a high source of protein. I mean, it's not perfect, but it's very good.
That's what you did
Protein
for
bars.
wrestling?
Yeah, yeah. Before a match, after weigh-ins, we'd eat some peanut butter, not peanut butter and jelly sandwiches kind of thing, but literally eat some peanut butter and honey. The purest honey, the better. Gives you that energy spark. Um, and so we would kind of live off of that. Eat eggs, eat boiled chicken. Boiled chicken's really good for losing weight. If that's what you want to do, it's boring as hell, but it's boiled chicken. It's like awesome. You eat celery. We used to eat celery a lot because it actually takes more calories to eat a stick of celery than it is to that's in the stick of celery.
Yeah.
And it's got fiber, so that's a good thing. But yeah, that's what I would recommend. Anything you lean into, or are you guys even talking about that in the gym yet? Seems a little early, but is there been
We're not
any
talking about
discussions
that
yet?
yet because they're not weighing me yet. Because I'm not doing tournaments, so they're not really like weighing me. But once
So,
I
do,
do the tournaments, I'm gonna have to get weighed.
well, of course. Do you know what your near weight? I'm not asking you to say your weight. That's up to you. But do you know what the weight classes are for 16 female?
I don't. I actually don't know.
Okay, so somewhere in there, you're going to want to know where you're close so you can, if you're only a couple pounds over whatever this weight class is, you want to lose those couple of pounds because obviously the lighter you can go without losing mass, without losing strength or muscle, because you don't want to diet too much because then wow, this is turning into a food show. Um, when you're dieting, especially as an athlete, you want to eat your most productive calories. Obviously, a chocolate cake doesn't fit into. It's an awesome thing, but it doesn't fit into that category, does it?
Hmm.
So we used to eat a lot of like boiled chicken, celeries, salad kind of stuff. I really got into salad then. Actually, sushi was an awesome, fun little food to eat. Got
Really?
rice, but you got rice. But are you a fish fan? I saw your face right there.
No, I love sushi.
Oh, yeah. Well, then that would be one to stay in because if you're working out, the rice will break down. It goes into starch and then sugar. But if you're working out, uh,
Hmm.
it, it 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 goes right through you. And then of course, fish is great for you. It's great for your skin. It's great for everything. So sashimi would be even better, obviously, because you don't have the rice. Rob Thomas here. Do you think social media helps or hurts teens? Yeah, this is a great question here. Why don't you read what he's saying here, Emma?
Do you think
And,
social
and
media?
and can I jump off for a second to read the other notes, please? Just
Yes. Do you want me to answer?
all right. Yes, I want you to answer
Okay.
and take your time.
Okay. Do you think social media helps or hurts teens' confidence? Excuse me, the most. I think that it can help and hurt it at the same time. It kind of just depends on the type of person that you are. If you're not that confident, then like it is going to take down your confidence or take down what confidence you do have because you're over there looking at other people and you're just like, oh, like I wish I looked like that or yada yada. But there's also a lot of things on social media that do help you. Like it does help you on like how to feel better or what to do when you're stressed or I don't know. A lot of people put advice out on social media, so it kind of is helpful. It just depends on the type of person that you really are at the end of the day.
I think, and I join in on that for sure because if you're like you said, depending on the kind of person you are, if you're going out after it for good purposes or whatever, you can learn a lot. And you can, I would assume, you kind of see what other people are doing, and people are feeling comfortable in their whatever image, good, bad, or indifferent, or different, just different. And I think over time you start to realize, hey, this person's got a cool vibe, and she's not, aesthetically perfect, so to speak, and this and that. Most people are basically just average human beings, and I think that kind of exposes that if you can span across social media. Would you agree?
Yeah.
I mean, that was an awesome explanation. um I want to go into a couple of the topics we're going to talk about today because the questions are really starting to dive in here. We're going to talk about teen romance. We're going to talk about school and systems check-in. We're going to go through some of these different topics today. Mental health and family dynamics. We're going to get into those subjects and more, especially finding your voice and shaping your future. This is and I say that because Todd's got a really good question here. And why don't you read this and answer this for Todd?
What inspired Emma to start this series? Um, well, it was my grandpa kept like going, "Oh,
Harassment?
come join it, join it, join it." And if it's gonna help him and if it's gonna benefit other people, then might as well. It doesn't hurt me or harm me or not benefit me in any type of way. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
And really, uh, I think the better way to go with that, Todd, is uh, I've known Emma for quite a while. I've known her whole life, in fact, and and as she's been growing up, very impressive person. And so I harassed you for like weeks or months, didn't I? About come on,
Yeah.
come on, come on, come on, go on, go on, go on. Finally, you just gave in and said, "Okay, fine." Oh, beautiful! Hey, I like your color.
My hair?
Are you gonna? Look down? Look down. What are your roots like? Are you growing that way, or are you gonna want to pull some more into them? What do they call that? What's that term? When
Roots?
you when you do your roots, not
Touch up?
highlight.
Touch
What
up?
is it?
Touch
Touch
up?
up. Yeah, yeah.
I
Is
don't.
it, is that where you're going, or because your color is different right now? You kind of lightened it up. I know you've been battling with it for a little bit, haven't you?
No, I actually haven't touched it like at all. I haven't done
For how
anything
long?
to it. A few months.
No way. I
Hmm.
thought I thought you just did because you were all upset about the color of your hair. Now we're getting into color and makeup again here.
That was in the before school started.
Oh, yeah,
Before
actually it
school
was. It was
started,
right before school.
yeah, it was like literally right before school. That was 2 months ago, I think, or like 3 months ago. I don't
Wow,
know.
it's been a
But yeah,
while.
I haven't touched my hair in a really long time. I wanted to go red, but I don't know. I'm too scared for it.
Really?
Yeah.
Full on red, like YouTube red,
Well, like my red, like I don't want like a bright red or like a deep but not a dark red. Like a
like an
how do
auburn?
I kind of in a way like I don't know, it's just I had the type of red before in my hair and I thought it was really pretty. I don't know if I just want to keep going with blonde or go with red or I don't know. I don't like my hair to be brown, so that's why I don't grow it out because it washes me out really bad. But yeah.
Because your complexion, you mean?
Yeah, cause I have really light skin and I don't know, it's just like even every time I would go brown, like everyone would be like blonde is your color, like cause I could tell like it would just wash me out and it just wouldn't look good. So I just stayed with blonde.
What does red do with your complexion? I assume it doesn't wash out. Does it add? I'm thinking of I forget the name that people call redheads. There's another name for it, but you're not you're talking that kind of the natural kind of
Hmm.
reddish color, or more of a darker auburn kind of color.
I
And
don't
what
know,
would
like in
those
the
do to your
middle.
skin? What's that?
Uh, I don't know because like it depends because a red could wash me out depending on what shade it is. So I don't know. I just have to see. I really have to see.
Yeah. That's interesting. So how do you do that? Like how do you like when you're painting? I hate sorry about this comparison, but when you're painting your house, you have swatches and then you paint a little bit in on the wall and you see how it looks. I mean, you can't really do that with you don't do that with your hair, right? I mean, it's all or nothing kind of thing, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean like sometimes when you go to the salon, they'll like do like a test on your one strand of your hair, but that's only to see if your hair's strong enough to even take the dye.
Ah,
So yeah, but I don't know. I it's kind of just an all or nothing thing. Like I can't just like dye one half of my hair, something like that. So I'm still deciding if I really want to go red or not.
all right, all right. I hear you. We got a bunch of questions coming in. If we can jump into this, you done with the? Are you good with the? Wait,
Yes,
I want to see your fingernails first.
I don't have anything.
All right, you're all natural today, huh?
Yeah,
All right,
yeah,
so
because I can't have them on for boxing. It messes up.
oh, so you're not going to be wearing fingernails for a while, huh? That makes
Yeah,
sense.
yeah, I'm not gonna be wearing them anymore. Um, what's one thing schools could change to prepare teens for real life?
Thank you, Kevin.
Um, I don't know. There's a lot of things. I feel like a lot of schools need to teach about taxes and all that.
So
Cause
your finance side.
yeah, some schools have business classes. My friend took a business class, but like the schools that I've been to, they don't have a business class, but it does teach you like how to do certain things, and if you're in college and you want to get an apartment or yada yada. I think that all schools should have that.
We were talking yesterday. I was talking to somebody yesterday. Yeah, it was yesterday, and we were talking about this subject and talking about some school things that because we got into the conversation about the regeneration school project and that fifth core subject, and you had made the comment, even in health they talk to you about what mental health is, but they don't really help you with it.
Mm-hmm.
There's no movement, there's no action, there's just this is what it is, blah 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 blah. And I think same in health again. You get into how to raise kids. You do that experiment where you have a boy and a girl match up and you take care of an egg or an apple, or in the old days that's what it was. I think they actually have kids that are crying and you have a little exercise there. So yeah, I think schools, better ones, touch on things, but they don't really dive deep into them, right? I mean,
Yeah,
the business class that you're talking about, first of all, it's an elective. School should be about preparing kids for life, right? Not just
yeah,
taking tests.
yeah.
That's a great question. It was Kevin, I think, is who asked that, right? This one here. What
Yes.
about see how we doing? We've got probably about 15, 20 minutes. Is that correct, Emma?
Yeah,
All right. So
yeah.
Olivia, is peer pressure stronger online or in person these days? I like that one. What do you think?
I don't know. I don't get peer pressure to like do anything. So like I can't really answer if it's better online or in social media. I feel
Why
like
don't why don't you say what you said before? Why don't you get peer pressure? You
huh
made a comment specific to this before. Remember
about peer pressure that
about peer pressure, huh?
uh, I said, is it about when I said that if somebody's gonna peer pressure you, then that's not like your your friend and that's not somebody that you should be around?
Exactly,
Yes.
exactly.
I think that
Go ahead.
peer pressure isn't a big thing now, but I think it's like the influence. I think that social media and online and does influence or does put certain things into your head more than like peer pressure. Just kind of when you see something so much and it's normalized so often that it kind of becomes normal to you. I don't really think peer pressure is a thing. I think it's more people are getting wrapped into it being normalized now.
This or that being normalized.
Yeah.
And that's kind of a dangerous thing. I mean, we aren't going to get into politics, but there's a lot of discussions about what some real is that kind of what you're referring to as well, or
Politics?
there's not politics, but for instance, there's a lot of discussion. There's been a lot of attacks, dangerous thing to different politicians and different public people, and when you see, I correct me if I'm wrong, when you see on social media, people acting a certain way, and then the algorithm starts sending all that. You start watching some things, and the algorithms that are out there start pushing whatever towards you as you've been looking up. You know what I'm talking about, or did I
Yeah.
say that right?
Yeah, I know
Okay,
what you're
so
speaking about.
so now you get that going on, and like you said, it starts to become normalized. And then if you're a little bit off, a person who's a little bit off, we've got 347 people on. By the way, subscribe and like the episode. Thank you, Mangum City Library, for hosting us, for sponsoring us, and allowing us to be in this beautiful place. They're setting up for a Halloween. They're doing a Halloween night tonight, and then of course on the 31st. But God, it looks really cool too. But when things get normalized, that can be very, very, very dangerous. If it's a dangerous thing that's being normalized, that's kind of what you're saying, right?
Yeah.
And I think peer pressure that could be around, still there, sort of thing, and like
Yeah.
smoke this or drink that or whatever. But like you said, that's a lot easier to combat by saying, "Hey, look, dude, if you're going to keep doing that, I'm not into that. That's not my gig. That's not my thing. I don't, you want to hang out, that's great, but you know, leave that stuff behind, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of your approach, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then when it's social media and those algorithms are pushing things to you over and over and over again. I heard a story the other day that since the 1950s, they've been tracking school shootings, mass shootings, they call it, right, in the news and all that. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
I'm turning a little bit of a twist here, but
Is this
um,
the Instagram you sent me?
oh, I think it is actually. Okay, why don't you say what I was going to say?
I don't remember what was said on there, but I remember I remember looking at it.
I was hoping you had. Yeah. So since the 1950s, since they've been tracking school shootings, every single shooter has been on some sort of antidepressant. Now, does that mean they were already mentally, out of touch, or is the antidepressant, all these chemicals, all these things that we're adding, because it says right on there, could cause violence, and in schools, pump these things out. The lady that I was talking to, it was about misdiagnosing ADHD, and that in the school systems, it's primarily women that are teachers. It's changing a little bit, especially now that like your uncle and actually I stayed home with the kids. I mean, I worked, so does he, but I had the opportunity. You talked about wrestling. Your dad and your uncle all both wrestled too, and Chris did too, and we used to go out and eat sushi. Every tournament we went to all over the country, man, we'd take off, and it was a lot of fun. And then we'd find a sushi place right after weigh-ins, and that's what reminded me of the sushi thing. But they're looking at issues, and it's funny because anytime something horrible like that happens, they go right to the guns, right? Ban guns. It's this and that. But what they never have, I don't know if you've ever heard, I know I never have heard the fact that they say or haven't said, uh, and he was on Adderall or she was on, well, it's usually guys, right? It was on this antidepressant and that
Well,
antidepressant,
antidepressants numb you.
right?
They
But
numb you like really bad.
they also have a warning for Zoloft and all those. They also have a warning that over time they can create uh, uh, dangerous tendencies. I mean, it's literally on the warnings there, and yet school systems. Oh wow, 414 people on subscribe. I want to see 400 subscriptions today. Um, but I mean, have you ever heard that, or what are your thoughts on that?
Um, I don't know. I feel like people shouldn't be taking medication that's supposed to help you. Like, I feel like there's so much more other ways than medication because medication, it just like, it literally just numbs you. Like, depressants just numb you, or they make you act different, or they make you feel really drowsy. Like, it's not, or a bunch of people use them to get high off of it.
I know I've heard that before.
Yeah.
I've heard that
I
just
don't
for the
know. I
high.
feel like there's so many other ways to help yourself with like other things and going to like medication. Some medication is good, like anxiety medication. Some of them is good
100%.
and huh?
100%.
No.
Yes, I agree.
Some medication like anxiety medication like can really just like kind of make you calm but not numb you, but like a lot of it's just a lot of it's really bad. I feel like people should look up more of the consequences to them before they start taking the medication that they're prescribed to a doctor because they have to like prescribe you that, like the government literally makes them prescribe you that. It doesn't mean it's really that good for you.
That's a perfect point. What are some things, if somebody's going through something and neither of us are doctors and all of that, so this is just a conversation between us. What are some things that you would recommend for, like, if somebody is feeling depressed, or instead of necessarily going to I'll tell you the story after you answer, or ADHD or different things. What are some things that you think would be a good alternative? In extreme cases, you may have to go to something, like you said. Not all medications are bad, and you need to find out the difference. But what are some holistic, some natural, some things we always used to do to combat some of the the issues of life?
I really do not know because I wouldn't say go talk to a therapist or go try to get medication. So I really don't know.
You're doing one of them right now.
um
Exercise, exercise,
Exercise. Exercise does
endorphins.
help, yeah. I
I
just
mean,
feel like if somebody's like depressed or something like that, it's not gonna help you that much. If you're stressed and you have a lot on your mind, like running helps that. If
I was going to say
you're
that.
feeling sad, taking a walk helps that, or working out helps that. But like if you really have a mental illness, it's not it's beyond exercising.
Absolutely, no doubt about it. And to if you're depressed, it'll help you likely. However, if you're depressed, do you really want to get up the gumption to go to go run or get in a ring
Yeah.
with somebody? Right?
Yeah.
If you're upset, you might want to get in a ring with somebody. You might do a little better. You just come out hardcore. Why don't you talk to Ariel here?
How can parents tell the difference between normal teen mood swings and deeper struggles? Um, I
That's
feel
a
like
that's a
normal
deep
teen
question.
mood strain, like, I don't know. I'm
Well,
not a
it goes
doctor. I
back
do
to
not know.
it goes back to some of the things you were talking about earlier on in earlier episodes. One thing is definitely be involved in your kids' life. Don't just don't just give birth to them, parent them, raise them, right?
Yeah.
It's not always easy, but I mean, that's a big part of it right there, isn't it? Knowing, because if I'm around you every day and you have mood swings or whatever, we all do, we're people.
Mm-hmm.
But then if there's something big happening, um, to not know them would be able, you'd be more likely to miss them. I mean, interactions day in and day out, like conversations, harassing each other, having fun, or, having real conversations. That's the biggest part of it, isn't it?
Yeah.
By the way, that story I was going to tell, um, lady was talking about, and this is interesting to me. She has a book. She released a book, and we were talking about that. And she's been a teacher, and she spent some time in the kindergarten area. She made a comment that, did you know that when you're in the third trimester, in other words, when your mom was in her third trimester, the
Mm-hmm.
baby can actually hear inside of you, and they also can feel. They feel that, when you touch. I don't know if you probably don't know this, but when a woman is pregnant and the baby, sometimes you see the hand or the foot or whatever, and then you kind of talk to it, or sing to the belly, or they feel your hand there. Everything that's happening in the third trimester, the baby actually has that in their DNA as part of the person that they're becoming. And it fascinated me because it's critical how important that is actually a very big part of coming into the world. And then, then the other things build upon that. It's amazing how important the very early years are, um, and very early, before you're born, is because you really get a lot of who you become starts there. If you're the mom is always stressed, or just goes through regular stuff, and versus reading to the baby versus singing. And I've always heard that, but I've never really put two and two together. That's a really big deal. The only reason I got into that is because we're talking about, normal, getting to know your kid
Yeah.
day out. You can't get bored of that kid. In other words, parenting's not easy. It's effort. It's work, right? Being involved in your child's life is the answer, I think, to that question. But my story on the lady that I was talking to, um, she had said that a lot of boys get misdiagnosed with ADHD because boys need to be active, girls can be attentive, and they're just different. They're not good or bad one way or the other. But for boys to sit in a circle in kindergarten, they want to be up and moving around. She suggested one of the things you could do in school, to answer the other question earlier, is put a tree in there and let them climb on the leaf, and learn the lesson, which kind of sounds funny, but it really kind of makes sense. And I just thought I'd throw that out there. Ryan says, go ahead.
What advice would you give to somebody struggling with self-image? I think a lot of people who are struggling with self-image compare themselves to other people who they believe that are like better or whatever. And I feel like that's like the biggest thing that people need to learn is to not to do. Like stop focusing on everybody else, because at the end of the day, you're not living their life. Like you're stuck with you, and if you're going to be stuck with you, then do better to better yourself and continue to be better and do things that you want to do and do things that you want to be or something like that.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I love that. I just love that.
I need to start going.
Let's switch here. We got a couple more questions coming up, but let's take a little pivot off of this subject here. Um, you're in a relationship, really neat guy, smart guy.
It's
Um,
I gotta start
what?
going.
Oh,
It's 4:45.
you're okay. Last two questions. You wanted to
Okay.
duck that. You wanted to duck that. Two questions. That's it.
Do you
Do
think
you
teens
go ahead?
today feel more or less connected to family than before?
Good question.
Mm, uh, I don't know. Other people might not feel less connect. I mean, a lot of people are on their phones and kind of just like in their own space and world. So I feel like I guess that teens are less connected to family now because they don't need to talk to them or need to communicate. They're kind of just like have their phone or games or something like that.
They just kind of fill the day, fill the air with their own activities in their own bubble.
Yeah.
Matthew's got another question here.
Okay.
Huh.
How can friends support each other through peer pressure and stress? You need to have a friend that like is a positive person and that is not doing the wrong things and that is not going to peer pressure you and that you know somebody that you're on the same level with like you can't like somebody
Good
that you're on the
point.
same level with that you guys are both good connected well and I feel like if you guys are on the same level they can help you with advice. A lot of people do sometimes have really good advice.
All right. Well, you know what? You're over time. You need to get the hell out of here, girl. I appreciate everything. I love you. I'll talk to you later. What do you got as a last comment? Try and get it out a minute worth. Can you get a
I
minute?
don't
Can I
know
get a
what to
minute?
say.
Well, what are your
um
thoughts? I mean, you read I don't know, 15, 20 questions here. Kind of
Thank you.
wrap it all in one. What's something you can throw out there that the parents and or the kids would go, okay, that I like that.
I don't know. I really don't know. I just thank you for all the questions and hopefully I answered them correctly and I made sense or that it was a good point that people do like. Hopefully I didn't say anything that nobody doesn't like. Um I enjoyed being on this show today. I haven't been here in a really long time, but I'm gonna try to be here next weekend too on Saturday. And hopefully everyone subscribes, likes, and comments on my grandfather's podcast because he's a really cool dude.
Well, our podcast, and
Mm.
I agree with you. I am a very cool dude. Thank you for saying that. She's a very cool girl, and that's the only reason I'm a cool dude to her. Love you, Emma. Have a great day.
Love
Tell your
you.
guy hello, and that you chickened out of a potentially pretty cool conversation. Well, I'm not going to let you get away with that though. We'll hit you one of these other times.
Okay.
447 people say love you, Emma.
Bye. Bye.
Bye bye. So, I tried. We'll work on that. We'll work on that better, or more. So back to Matthew here. Let me just say this: kind of a weird vibe today. I think she's kind of getting her feet back underneath of her, or something. Something's going on there. She seemed a little less. She seemed a little more shy today. I think for some reason. Do you think teens today feel more or less connected to family than before? That's a hard one for Emma because she has a very unusual family relationship, meaning good, and that her and her parents they kind of talk to each other. I mean, just like kids do, talk to each other. And I think that's a tough question for somebody who doesn't really connect in the same way as maybe many of her other peers do. I would say that I don't think it's any different, to be honest with you. I mean, because here's the question again that Matt asked. Do you think teens today feel more or less connected to family than before? Um, I think social media is like Emma was talking about, it was something that or is something that has an effect. It's good or bad depending on how you utilize it, how you use it, what's going on, those kind of things. The 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 reason I say I don't know if it's different, because I mean, let's face it, when I was a kid, we'd let's say we came home from school, we'd grab something to eat. Guys would definitely grab something to eat, throw their books on the table and run out the door, jump on their bike or whatever the case is, and take off. And they just had to be home by the time the light was on, the porch light was on. In other words, dark. So there's that. But then the interactions at home weren't sure, it wasn't social media, but typically, you see the image of the dad sitting in a big comfy chair or whatever, watching TV and having a beer or whatever, and maybe mom was there, maybe she wasn't with dad. In other words, they were together or not. I think family social issues have been around for far too long. I think what was the term? The microwave family, I think, was the term, and then a little bit after that was the latchkey kids, where kids come home and latchkey, mom and dad are both out working or doing whatever. I think that's still same thing today. The social media is just something that's filling the kids' time in a different way than it used to. I think that this is an awesome question and an awesome opportunity to talk about, because it's what we do in our lives that we're doing to our kids' lives, and building our kids' lives, or building our kids' look. They're watching you all the time, especially younger growing up, and that's where they're gaining how they should be, how they see themselves are going to be as an adult. We talk about the Regeneration School Project, and we talk about it having like two channels. I don't know what the right word is there. Two influences, and the one part is the school. By the way, man, I hope I didn't screw myself up today. I've got this big, wonderful chair here, and it's got these big wooden arm rests, and I there was something that's sitting not on the floor but in a basket on the floor here, and I leaned over, and the floor is further down, so I leaned into it, and this pop happened, scared the crap out of me. Now, oddly enough, I felt better after it. But the reason I say that is because, on this, I had a motorcycle accident, broke every bone and split my head and chipped out some teeth and broke every bone on this side of my body, including all my ribs. I think I might have broken one on I don't remember now, actually. It was 3 years ago on Memorial Day. But I broke every one on this side of my body. And to the point where if you see if I have someday, I might show you guys, because I've got a picture of it. My scapula, my elbow, I got road rash all up here, and then my rib cage was in pieces. Like one rib would be like 7, 8, 9, 10, 14 different pieces, and it's all these little metal plates holding it together. So I think something popped in there. Scared me, because I'm thinking, oh my God, am I going to be able to walk and breathe? Have you ever broken a rib before? Now, I've broken a rib before in wrestling. I did. I broke a rib, and boy, even breathing hurts. Now, this was totally different for me, because I was drugged up forever. I had the surgery and all that. So I never really, although the first time that I hit, I was scared to death about that hurting. But the thing that really hurt was when they cut me open. I have a scar that goes from my right here, my armpit, and all the way to the middle of my spine, and then down to my hip. So it's like a shark bite, and it's crazy. So they laid me open and started putting all these ribs back together. And when I did that, something popped, and I'm like, holy shit. Now I do have a soreness right here from it doing that, but it's weird because I feel like it actually moves something in place, which is kind of a strange thing. But I don't know why the hell I got onto that subject. But today, when I was a kid, when my dad was a kid, it's all that family connection. And that's why I refer to Emma and her family, meaning my son and daughter-in-law, but daughter. She's awesome. She's just talking about Jesse was making meals. So when you have that environment, I believe that it's completely a different environment. And really the reason she's able to do this, because we communicate. She knows how to communicate. It's important for her to communicate because she was raised that way. Meaning, hey, voices at the table. That's why Emma is doing this show. I forced her into it, so technically she didn't start it, but she's driven it every since. I mean, voices at the table came from this show, doing this show. The Regeneration School Project was something I always wanted to do. Didn't know exactly what it was, but it's really developed through the process of this show. So while she'll never take any credit for it, she is definitely the energy behind what it does day in and day out. I want to hit a couple more of these. Let's see, what was this one for? Friends support each other through peer pressure and stress. Yeah, that's just being a good person, like she said. But I want to go back to a couple things here. Struggling with self-image. You know what I really want to do? I don't want to do this. Mutual teen mood swings. We talked about that, and I think that's a really important point. It goes back to this one. No, it's got to be this one. Yeah, this one and this one and this one are all greatly connected. And actually, the last four are all greatly connected. Really, what it has to do is who you are as a person, who you have as friends, those relationships, things that come together and make you who you are. Literally, those influences are dynamic. And to the point of the lady that I had on the show yesterday, I thought it was going to be an awesome, because it's about mental health. I thought it was going to be an awesome show, and it turned out to be an awesome show on steroids, like by 100, because basically her whole premise. And check out yesterday's show. I think you'll really like it. It was a high energy. It was awesome. We had 400 or 500 people on, a lot of great questions, and the points she was making fascinated me. And it ties together the school systems, how they're operating, and really leans into the rejuvenation school project. It really leans very nicely into that. And that story I was talking about, she had, for a period of time, she was a kindergarten teacher, and she told a story about there's a time, like when kids are little, let's say kindergarten, first grade, second grade, you got all that going on, and the way the school systems are structured are the same way they always have been. And we talk about in the description of this show, the difference between let's see if I can pull that up. The difference. Oh, come on. I didn't do that right. You know what? I am there. Okay. So let's pull over on camera 4. Am I on 4 now? Yeah. Okay, there you go. So if we do this, I got to get it in the right picture frame here if I can. Do it that way. That's I think we got it all there, right? If we're looking here, topics, of course, the teen romance, we're going to get into that. But if we look at that story and having the ability to let me go back to this, and having the ability to reorganize the school systems and rethink what the school systems are for. They're not for, they shouldn't be, and all they really are for is for kids to be able to pass classes, pass tests. You know, this is what you're doing. That push mentality instead of the Leaf Lab pull mentality, where you're pulling the information out of kids because they're empowering themselves to make the project go through. But that exercise that theory, that discussion that we had talked about having kids do, having classrooms and structure of classrooms be more like, be updated and really take into the account that, you know, boys are different. You know, they're actually more emotionally capable because they you know, take it back to the caveman days. Listen to the show and tell me what you think. I'm not going to give you I'm going to give you the homework. I'm not going to give you the answer. Great show today. I appreciate you guys being here. I love you. You guys are awesome. Great series of questions. Please subscribe. Tell all your friends. Get people here. Let's get to that 10,000. We're at 8,808 now. I haven't checked today, but this is Insights and Straight Talk. I'm Rod Duff. It's raining outside. The Halloween parties are starting to go, and I am out.
Before you leave, if you'd like to watch another one of the podcasts, click the first link in the description. We love having you here, and we appreciate all your support.
And with that, producer Barbie and I are out. Have a